28 individuals have been named to form the president's TAC team. The next step will be to face screening, after which candidates who scale through will be handed their portfolios. But the question on the lips of many Nigerians is, would these candidates further the president's renewed hope agenda for the country and deliver quality service to Nigerians enough in a way that Nigerians will be satisfied? That is what everyone is looking forward to. So joining us via Zoom to dwell more on this ministerial nominees is political commentator and columnist Sam Omatseye. Sam, it's good to have you join us this morning.
Thank you very much. It's my delight.
All right. Okay. Now, the Nigerians have been talking, especially with the delay in the submission of the ministerial nominees to the National Assembly by the president. All the while, of course, he had 60 days. He has met the 60 days, but Nigerians were still talking regarding why would it take so long, especially with the personality of the president. A lot of persons expected that after the inauguration, maybe the same day or the same week or even 2 weeks after, the list of nominees would have been out. But share with us basically what your thought is in this regard.
Well, there are so many people who thought that, when Ashwaju became president, that they would just reel out the list of ministers immediately. Recall that he also sent a list for the National Assembly to allow him appoint 20 special advisors. But the idea of giving the president and also governors 60 days to get their or transmit their list of ministers or commissioners to the legislature was actually a wise thing, because if there was no such thing, the thing might probably have still lagged on. And you can see that even the list is not completed yet, because you have 28 ministers, already approved by the president. But the process is like going to war and also having peace. You think that because El Rufai was there, you could just go there and just write El Rufai minister, or you think that you need somebody to become a minister from Katsina. It would just be easy like that. The president discovered that it was not that easy, because you could just decide that, okay, I want to get the 36 names. These are the people I want, and let it go like that. He discovered that it was not that easy, because you have to balance so many things at the same time. It's like you know where you are going, but you have to allow everybody to understand where you are going. I remember reading in one of the Fitzgerald novels about somebody who said during the First World War, it took about 1 month to move from. Some people would call from one within half a mile. It took like 1 month to move in a battle. That's what it was. You see that the place is, the real estate is small, but you discover that it is taking forever to get there, because somebody will say, that is my uncle. The other person will say, that is my brother. The other one will say, I worked hard. That one person worked hard. Why are you ignoring the person? And so on. Then you have to balance it. I think that is what has been going on. To balance and to rebalance is a real task. I'll give you an example about something that happened in Delta State some years ago, where the secretary to the government of the federation was announced in the morning, and then in the evening they changed it to another person. So it is like making what they say, the Americans say, like making a hot dog. They say, you like it when it's finished, but don't be in the kitchen when they are making it. It's a lot of ruffle.
But this is the first time that this new legal provision will be tested in Nigeria, yes, so to speak. And you've also pointed out that this is the first list. There is another one pending. But then, considering the fact that it is incomplete, to what extent do you think it would be an issue as to whether the president fully complied with the constitutional provisions?
Well, the Constitution did not say that you should put all the list. It said you should transmit the list. Well, that is another issue for lawyers to look at. The question again is that the law is there as a moral guide, as it were. Because what is the consequence if it doesn't put the thing? Has any lawyer talked about the consequences if it's not there within 60 days? So I think it's kind of a moral pressure on it's legal, but it's also a moral pressure on the state executives that this thing should not linger for too long. And the more it lingers, the more everybody will bombard the president with requests. Say, no, don't put Lagbaja there, put the other Lagbaja there, the other one there. That one is taller than the other, that one is short. You don't want that short man there. No, it is a short man. It's the short man that fits that place, not the tall man. But the battle goes on and goes on and on. And then when the list is over, there will be a lot of rumbling. I'm sure there are rumblings now.
Indeed.
Look at this man. I did this for him. I did this for him. And look at him. I just ignored me. All the things I would do. Oh, my village people. You see what they did? They even threw a bomb. We lost somebody in our village. And that's why he should represent us. The man is not there. Now, look at what he has done for us. You know? Remember the case about National Assembly, about Speaker and Middle Belt and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. So before they brought Akume now silenced everything about the Middle Belt. So you see that it's a lot of problems. Then people will start talking of ingratitude. There's going to be some element of it because not everybody is satisfied, and some people will justifiably be angry. And they say, look at the man that he has put there, and he has not put me there. I have worked so hard. I put all my treasure in this thing, and he has just ignored me. I remember what the author Gertrude Stein said. He said, silent gratitude is of no use to anyone. The fact that you say, I'm happy that you work for me, and you don't show it. You don't show it. It's silent gratitude. So it's a lot of burden on leadership to create to get ministers, and ministers are seen just as governors as the apogee of political ambition in this country, other than president and vice president. You know, the desire to excel in the public space because of what they see as the prestige and prosperity that come with such positions have made them the be-all and end-all of all efforts.
All right. On the list, we see Adebayo Adelabu of the Accord Party. We also saw Nyesom Wike of the People's Democratic Party. A lot of party members, of course, would say, well, these are slots that should have gone to our people. But others will argue to say, well, of course, these people, their action one way or the other, complemented what the APC got, or how the outcome of the election was maybe in this. They might see it that way. But creating a platform where other members of other political parties are getting a piece of what others might think should be kept within the political party. I wonder what you make of this, though.
Yes, it's really interesting that a name like Adelabu, the former deputy governor of the Central Bank, yes, and Nyesom Wike, the former governor of Rivers State, made the list. Many people had predicted Nyesom Wike. Some people have said, oh, why will he come there? It's coming from APs, from PDP, and so on and so forth. But remember that the president paid a visit to Rivers State, to Nyesom Wike, even as his first major engagement after he won the election. It was a way of saying thank you. Remember that Wike was at the head of the G5 that time, and they believed that this G5 were one of the blocks that broke the back of the PDP and made it easy for them to win the election. Remember, Rivers was one of the states that, the unlikely states that the president won during the election. And the fact that Wike and his group were able to make it difficult for the PDP to make any substantial inroad into the South and Southeast. So it's a way of saying gratitude to this man for doing it. People have said, oh, he has worked with the governor. Why will you bring him back from another party? Well, you know, his spirit and his spirit is no longer in PDP. In soul, is actually with the president. It may not be APC, but his spirit has left PDP long ago. In the case of Adelabu, remember that Adelabu was the gubernatorial candidate of APC.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, he was. And he probably went to Accord Party because he didn't get the ticket. He has been a strong ally of the president, and the president probably thought that this was the time to reward this man for what he did. You know, what they say about politics is that it is not so much that it is unfair, but as that it is unfortunate. You know, it is unfortunate. It's some people who have worked there in other capacities will say, why did you bring this man? Why did you bring Wike from the Rivers? We are Rivers people, we are APC, we have been APC from the beginning. You have now brought somebody from elsewhere to work for us. Well, you can say it is not so long that it's unfair, that it's unfortunate, because I say it's unfortunate because the people who are there, who have been there from the beginning, will say the only fair thing to do is to look at us. It's unfortunate because that is the way of politics. Who works for me? Who will work for me in the next election? Because once you win an election, you are thinking of the next one. Mm. And those are the calculations that come in. That's why I say it is not a tidy thing. It's never a tidy thing to form a cabinet. There will always be wounds. There will always be broken bones. And then what the president will do and what governors also do is that after the ministerial appointment, there's still life. There are other things that the president can do to engage those people who are not happy. Because remember Jesus when Jesus gathered his disciples together, he said, "Ye are they that continue with me in a temptation. I therefore appoint unto you a kingdom that you will sit on my right hand and my left hand, while I judge the 12 tribes of Israel." In this case, well, I preside over the 36 states of Nigeria.
Talking about people who aren't happy, already the Oyo State APC caucus, we understand that some rubbles have already been recorded, talking about the Oyo State nominee in the person of Adebayo Adelabu. Well, they are saying that already the APC is a minority party, so to speak, in Oyo State, and bringing in a non-APC member as the nominee, the ministerial nominee, might just be the nail in the coffin of the APC. I know you've spoken about the wounds that a thing like this will naturally record. And on the flip side again is how easy it would be for you to predict whether Nyesom Wike will eventually join the ranks of the APC, as well as, of course, Mr. Adelabu, if he will return to the APC.
Well, those are things to be to predict. The case of Adelabu, I see him coming back to APC. He went to Accord Party because he wanted the platform to run for governor. I probably did that as a form of protest. That look, I was a candidate in this party. I lost when after Ajimobi, I was the candidate, and suddenly you guys are forgetting me. Things like that. Himself, he has his own grievance too. So these things happen. In the case of Rivers, well, Wike has never pledged that he will leave PDP. In fact, he probably needs to remain in PDP as a leader of PDP inside the APC in order to give problems to all those who are in APC who think that this is the opportunity for us to take over the PDP since Wike has left. But whereas Wike can become a master of PDP and become also a servant and a co-player in APC. He can have the best of both worlds for Rivers, because remember that we have Rotimi Amechi in Rivers as the leader of the APC in Rivers State. And Rotimi Amechi is not the best friend of the president at this moment. So a man like Wike, if he leaves the PDP, he will open the way for a man like Wike to go to PDP. Yes, and try to use that as a launching pad to fight for power. So they understand these calculations, and I don't think Wike will leave, because even the present governor is PDP and is a Wike's man. So you can see now that it is already a game that has already started for 2027.
It's really interesting to see from that perspective. All right, Sam.
Yes.
Now, the chief of staff to the president mentioned the issue of structuring and restructuring or reorganizing some of the ministries. We could see the emergence of some. We could also see the detachment of others. Some have mentioned the Ministry of Information and Culture. Some analysts have said that tourism and culture is a huge business and an endeavor by itself that shouldn't be subsumed under the Ministry of Information and so on. I wonder what you look at when it comes to ministries that could emerge.
Festus Keyamo, while giving his valedictory speech in the last administration, talked about the fact that some of these ministries can be broken into different parts in order to avoid what he called the problem of Minister of State, which was a valid point. I don't know if this administration will adhere to that kind of arrangement, but I know that already in the works is the whole idea of dealing with the humongous nature of some of these ministries. For instance, you have Ministry of Works, Housing, you have Ministry of Productivity and Labor, you have even petroleum. Some people say you can even break it to oil on one side and gas on the other side. There are all kinds of permutations going on and so on and so forth. All of these are necessary. Governance is a continuum. You also have the Ministry of Information and Culture. Information can be one, and culture can be another. We still have information in this regard, and I know that a person like Alake is going to head the information arm, as you know, as a special advisor. Is already doing that. I call him the organizer, the facilitator, and the articulator. He will be able to handle the information aspect of it. But these things are yet to be seen, because the same thing is going on with the parastatals. There's already a cost of governance committee that is already working to see how to realign all of these government agencies, for financial prudence, and also to make them lean and mean.
Right, and of course, the next big question would be who gets what, because the Tinubu administration has also kind of, made people to now be speculating as though there are some names that might just get specific roles. Like when you look at, the likes of a senior advocate of Nigeria and the person of Lateef Fagbemi, one would naturally reckon that perhaps he's been eyed for the exalted AGF position. But, what are your thoughts looking at this lineup of names so far? Does any strike you?
Yeah, that is one of the permutations. It is one of the permutations that you have, in this case. You know, after you have fought to become a minister, you start fighting for portfolio. So that's another level that's going on now. The other fight, the ministers are now saying, look, this is what I want to, this is what I want to tell them, oh, give me, oh, I want power, oh, I want oil, oh, I want this. Oh. But there are some that are very clear that you cannot fight it. You cannot fight Fagbemi. Fagbemi, you cannot battle with him over the issue of Attorney General. He has been the leader of the APC. And Ashiwaju's fight. The other people who were mentioned who will not make it like Tunde Ogala and so on and so forth. But you know, you can only have one Attorney General, unless you want to have what we call Attorney General of the President, or the President of the nation, and
the Minister of Justice,
government,
or a Minister of Justice.
Justice and Attorney. Yes, we don't have that here. We have not split that here the way we did with Auditor General of the Federation and the Auditor General of the federal government. We've not done that. So a position like Attorney General is clear is going to be for Fagbemi. Position like Information is clear is going to be for Alake. But the others are not clear. You talk of medicine, you have a number of medical doctors there. You have Pate, you have
Edu.
You have Better Edu. You have if you have that thing, and then in terms of finance, you have quite a few people there. You have the lady from Imo. You know, she's Minister, Commissioner of Finance. You have Edu. Edu is there's no way you can really decide who will be. Maybe Adelabu. Adelabu will be probably the Minister of Finance, or it could be Edu, or who will be planning and budget. It could be Edu, it could be Adelabu. You know, you can start saying some things like that where you have people with special skills and special acumen. But the rest of it, they're open. Like what will Wike have? Some people say maybe we go to FCT. Some people say maybe we go to Works because you know people saw him as a great infrastructure governor. And all of that remains. All of that is in the hands of the president, and also the pressures. And also the pressures.
Yes, exactly. Part of the pressure. And for someone like Rufai also, who is there, who has also been seen as someone who does a lot of infrastructure, people jiggle things here and there and all of that. But let's talk about the involvement of women.
I see Rufai going to power.
Okay. Possibly.
Because the person who can give them fight in that place.
So they need to fight before light comes.
There's always power in this fight. There are so many gogs and magogs there. Principalities and powers in the power industry.
Principalities and powers in the power industry. It's all right.
Power industry.
Now let's talk about the involvement of women. So far, we have seen in the 28 nominees, we've seen about 7 women, which constitutes about 25% so far of these names.
Yes.
Some people would say that this is encouraging so far. It gives a good reflection of what Ashiwaju, or the president, had promised before, that he will look into women participation, and as well as youth. Of course, we've not seen the kind of youth that will be referenced in that context yet, but who knows? We still have about 13 names coming up. No one knows how that is going to be. But speak to us about the place of women on this list.
Yeah, there are a lot of there are a lot of people talking now about the women component of this cabinet so far. I mean, we have 7 women. We have people like Anatu Musawa from Katsina State. We have Beta Edu. We have Nkeri, the House of Rep person, the Nkeru lady from Then we have Doris Uzoka from Imo. We have quite a few. We have quite a few of them. We have Uju Ohane from Anambra State. So it is good. Somebody they consider about 25% already. Not quite the 35% they have been clamoring for, but this is the most that we have seen in the cabinet in the history of this country. We still have 11 names, at least 11 or 12 names to go. You know, So we'll see how many women will be in that category. And most of these women, including one from Delta State, what's her name again? Okotete. Okotete
Right.
from Delta State. All these people are also young. Many of them are young, under 40, and also in their 40s. So you can see that there was that demographic that has been taken care of, which is refreshing to this country.
Okay.
Right. I asked a question, Sam. I don't know whether I think you missed it, but I just wanted to know what options, there would be for, the APC at the state level, especially in those states where a non-APC nominee emerged. What you think their options would be, and even if you look at the national framework of the APC now, with the likes of the acting chairman now among the nominees, and looking at Edu now, Betty Edu, with the vacancies, so to speak, in the National Working Committee. What do you think the future would be like for the APC moving forward? You've already said that 2027 has already started.
Yeah, of course, 2027 has already started. The thing is that in states where they don't have an APC in control, what will you do? You get people. Those people who are rumbling can always be satisfied. Come all ye that test for position, but there are agencies. There are many positions. Because like what happened to the speaker, the battle for the speaker, the appointment of Akume was a tremendous blow to those who said that it was ignoring the North Central.
That's true. All right. Now, the Senate has said they will do a thorough screening of these people. But if you look at the array of the nominees, some of them former governors, some of them former lawmakers, and in the history of how they do it, in the format they do it, usually people who have this kind of privileges sometimes are usually told to take a bow. But the senator said they will do a thorough screening. I wonder what you look at when it comes to balancing that.
They'll give them thorough bows.
That is just what you see.
I don't see them. I don't see them going through any kind of serious scrutiny, because some of these, many of these names you see here are really very interesting. Even those who are ex-governors, or those who have track records, like Wike, or even El-Rufai, or even Umahi. These are guys who have shown themselves a lot. Or even women, a person like Betty Edu, she has shown herself to have been a performer. Or Anatu Musawa, who is a lawyer and who has been a writer for a long time, a critic, and so on. Is it really Alake, who has been in the media for a very long time and doing the job he's doing now. Who are you going to talk about? Is it Wale Edu, who is a policy wonk? Or is it former central bank deputy governor? Is it who are you going to mention that will not that will have problem? Because some of these things are taken into consideration before they are said there. But I'll be surprised if we don't see thorough bows after bows.
Okay. Well, we'll look forward to that bowing exercise on Monday. So let's see how that goes.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam Omatseye, for your time. It's really interesting having you on every single time. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Great.
It's my pleasure.
Great.
Thank you.
All right. Part of what cracked me up is seeing when somebody like Rufai we'll fight the principalities and powers in the power sector.
And right, there are some ministries that demand,
Exactly.
certain personalities.
Some firmness, exactly.
It will be interesting to see who gets what.
All right, this is where we wrap up for the week. We thank you very much for keeping up with us and, spending all your time with us this morning. The weekend is going to be an interesting one with a lot of discussions around these issues. But looking forward to an interesting week next week.